The beginning is that this was originally a kitchen and a dining room, which were very small, very cramped, and the flow didn't work, and the space wasn't good for a family.
We had almost no counter space at all.
And so, when we had Chris in, the first thing that we talked about is, removing a wall, knocking down a wall, opening up the space. And from there, the design that evolved and what Chris was able to see was how to improve the flow and how to improve the storage. So, he started, I think the first design element that came into play was the idea of a peninsula. Which provides more countertop, more working space, and I think is probably the greatest feature that we gained from that. The ability for you to be prepping food and to be having kids have breakfast in the morning at the table, so that the usability and the way that we use the kitchen, the space is a lot different now.
It's a lot more efficient. We had a 1960s colonial style kitchen that had almost no counter space, and they were able to retrofit and designed a layout that almost feels seamless to the house.
We had existing very nice oak wood flooring that was in the dining room, so we want to kind of continue that through into the kitchen. So although we ripped up the floor, we ultimately they were able to match the oak and match the stain and make it seamless as if it had always been there. So it kind of worked from the bottom. We ripped everything down from the rafters and the floorboards and built back up. There was so much inefficient and terrible use of space in the old kitchen.
And corners and...
Working with Alex, right, you were able to say, all right, how are we going to use the space more efficiently? How do we use those corners and how can we make it?
And then we started talking about how it would look, and part of that was figuring out sort of like a design scheme and how it would actually, of course we wanted it to function very well, but also how it looked when you walked inside. And for me, I was very drawn to a farmhouse style kitchen, which was a very wood and white, but also a very clean and modern kind of feel. So we started with the idea of like the two-tone with the darker wood, and we settled on kind of like I think it was a walnut color cabinet on the bottom and the white shaker on the top. And then we have the stainless steel appliances. We went with a sill granite sink. Backsplash was a really good segue between the granite countertop to the white, from the dark and it's almost like a layering from the top to the bottom. It's a very welcoming space now.
Then we did add, I think, one of the other bonuses that we gained was when they built in a custom buffet for us, which provides a lot of flexibility for not only storage but also usability for having family dinners and things of that nature. So it kind of changed the whole space. It changed our storage dynamics. It changed the way that we present the space and the way it kind of feels. So there are very few nights that go by since we've done this when we haven't put the kids to bed, poured a glass of wine, and stepped back and said, boy, we're really pleased with how that came out with Master's Touch.
I think every day I say I love my kitchen.